Hi class. I wanted to do a little video for you just to talk to you all about the group research project because I didn't have a chance to talk about that with you on the first day, and I'm not sure what kinds of questions you might have, and so I wanted to just walk you through some things together. Um, so I did talk about it a little bit on the first day, but I want to show you a couple of resources that are already up in your Canvas folder to help answer some questions, and then I'll just say a few comments about it. So the first thing I invite you to do is to go to the Files section, and then you'll see that there's actually a folder for Team Research Projects. So select that, and you'll see there's one folder here for project description materials and then another for templates. And the templates you'll get to later on when you've got some data that you have to analyze. So for now, open up the project description materials, and you'll see there are 3 documents here that kind of help orient you to the project. So the first is one called Weekly Milestones Assignment here, and then there's this Team Research Project Description, and then the actual grading rubric. So what I'd invite you to do first is to open up this Team Research Project Description document. I'll kind of walk you through it. So this is a pretty detailed description of what the assignment is. So you've already been divided into groups of 5. And over the course of the semester, you'll design an epidemiologic study aimed at answering your research question. You'll conduct that study, analyze your data, and compare your data to the existing data at the county or state level if those data exist. Some of you, I think, are picking questions that may not have that kind of data around. And then you'll present the findings in class. So I think you know this is a big part of your grade. It's worth 25% of your total class grade. All of the project assignments except end of the semester evaluation, you'll get a team grade. So it's really important that you work together well in your team. Those of you who have taken or are now taking the team building class, you'll need to bring in all of the skills that you have been developing through that material in order to work together well. If you find that there's someone who's not pulling their weight, or you're a person who is doing all of the work, or you have someone like that in your team, really first step is to actually talk about it with each other. Every single team, you need to discuss how you're working in order to make sure that everyone is being used to their fullest capacity, and that everyone feels good about how things are going. I really encourage you first to kind of check in with everybody about how things are going. And then if you find that you're having some trouble, like say someone's not being responsive, then you can reach out to the professor to try to help resolve the conflict. But really the first thing that you should try to do is to try to talk with everybody about what the expectations are if you have trouble. So starting this week, you have an assignment every single week of the semester that gets submitted to Canvas. There's 1 upload per team. So these should all be set up to be group submissions. I can double check our Canvas portal and make sure that they are set up that way. And so the milestones assignments will be graded based on your effort and completeness. And I'll be providing feedback about each assignment. There are a couple assignments here where you see there's a part 1 and a part 2. So the part 2 sometimes has some additional content, but often it's just an opportunity to revise it. So based on feedback that you get from your first background research, you'll have an opportunity to revise the next background research. And you can see that the structure of these milestone assignments gives you a real opportunity to um, uh, separate what otherwise would seem like a really large and kind of daunting assignment into something that is more manageable. So the milestone assignments are about 30% of your grade. The final presentation itself is 50%. You'll see that there is a presentation rough draft that you'll submit, and so you should get lots of feedback on that rough draft, and you should be able to put together a really strong final presentation based on all the feedback and making sure that you've done a really good job for all the milestone assignments. And then the last part of the grade is a team member evaluation. And there is an opportunity for you to provide feedback about who contributed how much, the quality of everyone's presentation and feedback. And so what that means is that with any project, let's just say the team gets a B plus on the final presentation. If through the team member evaluation, it's clear that two team members have done a huge amount of work, everybody thought that they contributed really, really effectively, they might on their individual grade get an A minus on the presentation. And let's say there's one team member who really hasn't put in a lot of effort at all. That person might drop from a B plus down to a B, or depending on the evaluation, even a C plus or something like that. So the final team member evaluation is the way that we provide individual grades to everybody to reflect their effort in the presentation and in the overall study. So let's go back now. I'm going to open up the weekly milestones assignment document.